Hey Coach, what's going on? It's Coach Beast here with another video, and I got a great one for you today. We're going to talk about the basics of running the 4-4 Reaper defense. That's right, we're going to talk about the 4-4 Reaper defense today. And if you haven't already, do me a solid and like and subscribe to the channel. You'll help me reach other like-minded coaches like yourself. First and foremost, let's talk about why you should run the 4-4 Reaper defense. For us, it's very simple, all right? We know that most youth football teams are going to run the ball 80 to 85% of the time, right? We also know of that 80 to 85% of the time, they're going to run to the outside the majority of the time, okay? Teams at the youth football level absolutely love to run to the outside to avoid the trenches. They want to get the ball to their best ball carrier. And so our job is to do two things. Number one, we want to shut down their best ball carrier. Number two, we want to cut the head off the snake and shut down their quarterback. So we run the 4-4 defense so we can be able to create versatility and balance. And this is why I call it the 4-4 Reaper defense, all right? We don't just stack, okay? We don't just do 4-4 stack. We've done that before. It was great for me, right? But we realized that as offenses evolve, we have to evolve as well in this defense. So basically what we do is with our outside linebackers, these are our hybrid guys, all right? We can flex them any way we want. If we want to go down to the line of scrimmage, we can do that. We can creep down, we can do blitzes, we can disguise blitzes, all right? If we want to spread out a little farther, we can do that with these guys to create this 4-2-5 defensive look, all right? And we'll talk about that one in another video. So our two outside linebackers are our hybrid guys. We like, or I like rather, for my outside linebackers, especially my play side outside linebacker, to be my best player, okay? My best player right here. My second best player, I really like for him to be the free safety. We call him eyes in the sky or a hawk. We want him to know the field. He's kind of like our quarterback. I know traditionally speaking, the middle linebacker or the Mike is, which he has his responsibilities, okay? With navigating the defensive line, with calling the defensive plays. But when it comes down to shifting and identifying certain things, I like for my free safety to do that, all right? And then again, this is my best player. Usually my outside linebackers, we want them to be the first to engage when it comes down to making tackles and making plays, right? So now let's talk about the defensive ends real quick. Me personally, I like for my defensive ends to be very quick. They don't have to be particularly tall per se. To put it in perspective, I like for my defensive ends to almost look like fullback type of players. They look like fullbacks, but they're quick, they're shifty, right? Because again, our goal is to get to the quarterback and get to the running back, which is typically their best ball carrier, right? So we'll line up in any typical game into what we call our Alabama blitz, all right? Or our Bama blitz. Simply put, the Alabama blitz is just a double A-gap blitz with our middle linebackers. Bama blitz is a double B-gap blitz. But I may call Bama base, right? So Bama base is very simple. Our defensive tackles, they're going to do A-gap blitz. Our defensive ends are typically going to hit the C-gap most of the time unless we do some kind of shift, okay? Because what we want to do, there are multiple benefits to this. When we are blitzing our defensive ends and we're shooting that inside gap, we're occupying this space, okay? We love occupying this space because what we do is I want this tight end to be busy. I want this tackle to be busy. And then what we do is we use this outside linebacker to really clean up and reach, all right? Now, here's another very important point that you need to understand about these outside linebackers, Coach, is that our goal when we line up, we want to line up where we know the running back is going. We don't want to line up to put ourselves in a a disadvantage against an offense. So we want line up in a stack look. We don't like our outside linebackers on the inside right here in the box. We like them 3 to 5 yards outside of the box. If the team likes to spread out, we will go as far as 7 yards, 8 yards to the outside, okay, depending on what the offense is showing us. So in this situation, our outside linebacker, he would actually be out a little farther here. He'd be on the outside shoulder of this slot guy. So he would actually be out a little farther here in this position. Because what we don't want to happen is we don't want our outside linebacker to get pinned down, okay, or blocked down, and then they just run to the outside. We always want this outside linebacker to stay to the outside, and we want to meet this guy where he is, all right? Now, typically what we do with our cornerbacks, we don't like to play man. We don't like to play man with our cornerbacks. We like to play zone. So typically with my cornerbacks and free safeties, we are playing cover 3, all right? So we're trying not to give up any kind of big plays. We want to keep everything underneath. I know when you're cover 3, you have to be careful because teams like to run these little seam routes here to cause chaos and problems. So, and here's another principle for us too when it comes down to our cornerbacks. I train my cornerbacks like linebackers, particularly on the youth level. If this is high school or maybe even middle school, I'll teach them more man coverage, more, different zones and things of that nature. But on the youth football level, I would go into cover 3. I'm sending my guys, and then, if we get burned with a pass play, fine and dandy. I'm okay with that because in my mindset is if you score on us with a passing play, cool, we'll give you that. But you're not going to outscore us just passing the ball. That's our mindset, and we refuse to allow you to beat us running the ball. So that's why we take pride in shutting down the running game. This is when we want to shut down this running game, and we want to dominate the game. If they score 6 or 7, fine. Because on the offensive side of the ball, we want to score, and we want to get to 21 because we know that the first team that gets to 21 got a 90% chance to win the game. So we're sprinting to 21, and then we're trying to, me, I'm an offensive-minded coach. I'm trying to blow them out. I'm trying to score as many points as possible. All right, so let's talk about the assignment of our middle linebackers, all right? So my middle linebackers, my Mike and Will, these are some of the smartest guys on the team, all right? We really want them to flow to the ball, to be able to assist and be able to help. So if you remember earlier, I called Bama base, right? Bama base simply means our defensive tackles are going to hit the A gap. Our middle linebackers, their responsibility is to protect that B gap, all right? To make sure anything that comes through that B gap, they're able to defend it, all right? And so it's really important for us to make sure that our middle linebackers are not too aggressive at times, because if they're creeping up and they're in the trenches and they're trying to blitz, they can get washed away, and now we're in trouble for an explosive play. We don't want them to get caught in the clutter all the time unless we're playing against like a really run-heavy team where we have to shoot the gaps. But like if we got, this 2-by-1 look here, shotgun, we want them to be 5 yards off the ball, okay? 5 yards off the ball. Outside linebackers, they're typically 5 yards, 4 to 5 yards off the ball. They're about 3 to 5 yards typically outside of the box, okay? Outside of the box. And that's really important because we don't want them to get sucked in. We don't want them to get bad angles. Because, again, if this guy, they're doing a sweep, toss sweep, we want to meet them. We don't want to play contain. We don't want to play soft. We want to play efficient, aggressive, and tenacious. That's our goal. Efficient, aggressive, and tenacious. All right, Coach, I hope you got value from this video. If you did, hit that like and subscribe button. You'll really be doing me a solid. Also, if you are interested in the 4-4 Reaper defense, want to learn more, just go down to my description box below to learn about all of my playbooks. All right, Coach. Until next time, win more games, score more points, beast out. Peace.